Morte. All right. Once again, we need to throw the King of the Hill a little curveball here, and we're going to do our second song first, which would be our interview for tonight, and that would be Belle Morte. And on the phone with me right now is their lead singer, Andy. Welcome to the show, Andy.
Hey, man, glad to be here.
So, first I got to ask, where are you based out of?
Charlottesville, Virginia.
Charlottesville, Virginia. Okay. We actually have a redneck that listens to the show that lives in, by God, West Virginia.
That's good. We're glad to have all types, of course.
Oh, you know what? And this show has them all. You know, we got Her Majesty. She's a Canuck. We have Holly, who's from Florida. Chaos is from New York. Then we've got Uncle Buck and Molly are from, just a couple of miles away. And of course, my mom is listening. And then we have one of my best friend's wives, and someone from Brazil. Well, of course, that's Brazil, Indiana. But we don't want to say that too loud. And then, of course, my co-host, who can't be on for some reason, is Bob from Arizona. So yeah, we got them all from all over the place. So it's definitely a good thing to have you here. I will admit that we did find you on Reverb Nation. I don't know if I emailed you or if you guys emailed me first. Not that it matters.
I think, you got in touch with us.
Okay. Because I know, once I found the first band that I talked to, I just started emailing everybody that I thought had a decent tune, and I thought you guys had a few of them, and then, of course, my 16-year-old absolutely fell in love with you, which, it is kind of cool, because now I can actually control it, so.
Right.
But, okay, so when did you guys form?
We got together in 1996. It was just me and the original bass player, Gopal Metro, who is no longer with the band, though we are still making music together. But yeah, it was just the two of us.
So wait, you're still making music even though he's not part of the band?
Yeah, well, I've got a couple of other projects outside of Belle Morte that I've started over the last year. One is called Brighter Fires, and that is with Gopal Metro. It's just the two of us doing music, and then I have a solo project called The Rain Within, which is my own electronic sort of synth pop project that I'm working on.
Oh, that's that other thing that you sent me. Okay.
Yes, that just came out. That just hit.
Okay, yeah, I haven't actually listened to that one yet. But trust me, I will, and I will put it into the rotation just because it's new and, nobody really plays unsigned brand new shit. And, I like to do that because, you never know when that shit's gonna hit gold and all of a sudden I'll be like, yep, that was me, I played it first. And so, I like to take credit for shit I don't deserve.
Right.
So, where are you located right now?
I'm actually at home right now. We're in the studio cutting a new Belle Morte album, so we are in town at the moment. We have a couple of shows coming up in October along the Northeast, but other than that, we're in the studio.
Okay, so you've recorded just one album then?
We are, I think this will be our 8th or 9th album. I actually can't remember the number, but we've been at it a while. So we've got several albums where we're actually signed to Metropolis Records. And yeah, so they're waiting on a new one.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you're not as new as I thought you were.
No, man. We've been touring for years.
Huh. That's kind of cool. So, how many are in the band?
4.
4, okay. And how did you come up with the name Belle Morte?
Me and Gopal made a list way back in the day, and we kept going over it, and Belle Morte was the one that seemed to fit. I'm pretty sure he was the one that came up with the title, and it just stuck.
Okay. Let's see. Like, okay, what would you say is one of the craziest things that's happened either during or after a show?
Well, around a show, like, well, we were playing out in San Francisco once, I remember, and the band before us, I remember the chick pissing on a Bible on stage and then jamming a lollipop up inside herself. That was pretty impressive. And it was on our guitarist Tony's side of the stage, and I remember him looking at her and saying, like, "Hey, are you gonna clean that up?" And she was very nice about it, and she said yes, she would clean it up. So she did clean it up, so he didn't have to stand in her Bible pee for the rest of the set. That was interesting. We saw a feces covered man in a Wendy's once after a show in the bathroom. Like that's always fun.
Wow, you know what? That actually sounds like something I would run into at my job. I'm a manager at a truck stop, so I got like the dirtiest, scummiest people on the face of the earth coming in and using my restrooms on a daily basis.
Right, and we're probably some of those people.
No, you know what? Honestly, the most recent band to come through at least my facility was oh crap, I can't even think of the name now. Yeah, that's gonna haunt me forever now.
Right.
But they're actually a popular band that's played a couple of tunes on the radio and everything. But they came in and they used the restrooms, and then my boss at the time actually noticed who they were, and she hounded them for like the entire 10 minutes that they were there. And she begged him for she begged him for an autograph, and they ended up giving her a CD signed. And that just, I thought she was going to have to change her shorts after that. So that was interesting. And I was just like, hey, it's cool, I was actually outside wiping down the diesel pump that their motorhome was using. So I thought that was kind of cool. So see, you've been at it 14 years. We do have a question from the room. Her Majesty, our resident Canuck, asks, what are some of the bands that you listened to growing up that may have inspired some of your work?
Well, a lot of different genres, like Faith No More, Iron Maiden, Danzig, Specimen, any of that early goth stuff, the Sisters of Mercy and stuff like that definitely came into play. When I was a really young kid, like the first band I ever really got into was Kiss. And then later on I got into Prince and then a lot of early hip-hop. So I kind of been all over the board.
That's actually pretty cool. I will say, who didn't get into Prince? I mean, the dude's a legend.
Oh, I know, man. The guy's a genius.
And actually, one of my co-hosts, Holly, she is the term I like to use to describe her. She's our bisexual blowjob artist. And she says, "Oh, my Red, you're talking to Belle Morte. I want to hump his face. He has a sexy voice."
All right. Well, my work is done here.
There you go. Then Her Majesty also wants to know about sending over some free CDs for some of us. Well, we can always possibly work on something that way. Either that,
luck.
Yeah, well, either that or if maybe I could get a hold of some MP3s. Then again, I'm always going to post what I do have on the station for everybody to listen to.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the... Okay, you said you had a couple of gigs coming up on the East Coast. What are those?
Oh, I know we're playing, like, next Thursday we're up in Boston, and Friday we're in Ithaca, and, let me think. I know we're doing Pittsburgh and Columbus, Ohio toward the end of the month, and we're in New York City for a big Halloween thing on... it's actually taking place on the 30th, of course, because it's a Saturday since Halloween falls on a Sunday this year, so... we're going to be in the city for that, and we're trying to keep our tour load pretty light right now so we can get this album knocked out. But next year we'll be doing our typical. We usually do 2 full U.S. tours a year, and then been a few years, but we're trying to get back to Europe and the UK as soon as we can. So every time we've been over there, it's been a blast. So.
Okay, let's see. Uncle Buck wants to know, what do you like to do in your off time?
I'm a horror movie fanatic, so I collect and watch a lot of horror films. I'm also an author. My first book came out 2 years ago on Delirium Books, and it was called The Sticks. So, and since then, this last April, my first novelette came out, just a short novel. And then my second novel is coming out this winter. I'm guessing January, sometime between January and March, and it's called All the Darkness in the World. But pre-sales are going to start for that one in early December. So I stay real busy. Like I said, Belle Morte is my main project, but I have 2 other bands I'm working on, along with doing all the writing. So it really keeps me busy. But like I said, I love horror films. I read a lot. And I'm also on Xbox Live. I play right now. I'm playing a lot of Halo, so that's how I relax.
You know what? I hear you. I absolutely love the video game realm. Unfortunately, I haven't had one for like 2.5 years, so it's almost.
Get with it, man.
I'm almost past that point to where I don't, need it anymore. But I still have the craving to get on and play some of those games, like, I was a Madden fanatic, and SOCOM and Gran Turismo and stuff like that. And but I always wanted to. I did play Halo once, but I never got online with it. But Halo is obviously is Xbox's version of SOCOM, so I was able to get into that, make a nice transition to that when I did play.
Yeah, dude, it's a really good time, and I get on there with my buddies, so we're kind of goofing off together on there, which is a lot of fun.
Oh, heck yeah! Crazy Bob wants to know if you have your own website.
I do. I got several of them. The first place I'd recommend you go is andydean.net, and the key thing there to remember is my last name is spelled D-E-A-N-E. Everybody always forgets that E on the end, so it's andydean.net, and I've also got, bellemorte.com if you want something more specifically Belle Morte oriented, and my solo project, The Reign Within, is therainwithin.com.
All right, I just typed all those in the chat room for everybody to go and check out. And then, of course, Holly says, what? She's going to go to Boston and not wear pants to that show.
Me too. That's a crazy coincidence.
That's good shit. That's good shit. Uncle Buck, I did ask the question, how many members are in the band? There are 4. What are their names?
We got Tony on guitar, Marshall on bass, and Brandon on drums.
Nice. And who's been there the shortest amount of time?
Well, Brandon and Marshall are the newest 2 members. Tony and I have been together doing this for a long time, and funny thing is, Brandon, our drummer, even though he's new to this band, we played in a metal band together years ago. So he's an old friend of mine, and we've been buddies for a long time. So if I had to pick the newest guy, it'd be Marshall. But he's been great. So
I gotta ask, like when you bring someone new into like a group, I know I did with my friends. When we brought someone new into our our clique or circle, we always used to like pick on them more. Did you like haze him more than anybody else, or do some weird shit?
We're really not that type of band. I mean, there is a period where everyone's getting comfortable with the new person, but there's no attempt to make their life miserable or they have to carry more stuff than anybody else. We're just not into that whole thing. We'll leave that to the frats. We're pretty cool to our new guys, so.
Well, that's cool. Let's see. What else? What do you got going on in the background?
What now?
What do you got going on in the background?
I think you can hear that, man. It's my solo project. I got a mix playing that I've been working on.
Oh, see, you might have to send that to me. I can get it some airtime.
this stuff is for the album that's coming out next year, so it's still totally in the works.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, let's see. Crazy Bob's already on your website, and he's absolutely loving it. So that's
Excellent.
cool.
Crazy Bob's a good man.
Crazy Bob is he is rather an interesting character. He lives on the surface of the sun right now in Arizona.
Very nice. Got a couple, but that's actually where my book publisher is. They're out there in can't remember, Phoenix or Tucson, or there's a bunch of little. I always get mixed up. There's like 10 cities out there that are basically the same city. Like,
so what made you decide to write a novel?
Well, at first it started as I had my laptop and we would be on tour for 2 months, and I'm sitting in the van, and I've always liked to write, and so I started writing a short story, and I just found that it just kept going. And by the time we got home from tour, I was like, closing in on a good chunk of the story, and so I just kept going, and then started to edit the story and polish it and this and that. And when I was done, I was like, man, I should do something with this. So I started contacting publishers.
Okay, here on a personal note, I got to ask, okay, because I've written quite a few stories or together like a couple of journals or whatever. How do you know when you're done? I mean, like, is there like a defining moment, or do you just leave like a cliffhanger or something? Like, what do you do?
For me, it was just a feel thing. There was a point where I knew I wanted things to wrap up, and it felt right, so I left it there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't anything more complicated than that. It was just kind of like, this feels like a good spot.
Okay, that's cool. Do you plan on continuing to write, or you gonna try focusing more on your 4 different musical projects?
Oh, I'm gonna keep doing all of it. I don't see any reason that I would, ever have to pick, one versus the other.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, for me, I'm going to keep writing, keep doing music, and use each of them to help out the other.
Let's see. So, did you grow up in Virginia? Charlottesville?
Yeah, I did, actually.
So, okay, so not everybody's from there.
No.
All right.
But
I was going to say, if you don't mind, you want to tell us where everybody's from?
Oh, no, not at all. Well, I'm from Virginia. I think Marshall, I know his family lives in Virginia Beach. I think that's where he grew up. Tony was born in California, out near L.A., but he came to Charlottesville when he was young. And Brandon is also from here. So,
oh, okay.
And I don't think Brandon was born here either, but I know he was here pretty young, so.
Well, that's cool. Crazy Bob wants to know if he can put the link to your site on his.
Oh, damn right.
Excellent.
Go to town, Crazy Bob.
That's right. And actually, Bob, if you go to Reverb Nation, I think there's a widget that you can grab from that site to put on yours. And that will link it, basically straight to that site.
One of the great things about that site, man.
Yeah, I tried to add one to my site, but for some reason it's not coming up. Maybe I just coded it wrong, because I actually code my own site, so that's why it's kind of plain Jane. But it gets the job done.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then Bob says he's going to add you to his Twitter. I have a Twitter too,
Very
but
nice.
I don't use it as often as I probably should.
Gotcha.
But it's been fantastic having you on. I'm going to play your song next. Which one do I have lined up here? I'm going to play "Can't Let This Die."
Excellent.
That's going to be the song I'm playing, and that's for this week's King of the Hill. And if you want to hang out and listen, are you still having problems with the plugin?
I haven't tried it again since earlier.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because I'm gonna play the songs for King of the Hill, and this is the King of the Hill is the battle of the bands that I do each week. I'll play 3 songs, and I'll have everybody in the chat room vote for the one they like best. And also, if you happen to be hanging out in the chat room, I do a Mad Lib. You remember Mad Libs, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes, I do a weekly Mad Lib, and I have everybody in the chat room give me the answers, and all I tell them is what I need. So those get kind of crazy. So if you want to hang out and do that, that'd be great. It's been a pleasure having you on, Andy, and I hope in the future I can call you for a follow-up.
That would be great. I'm all for it, man. It's been good talking to you, too.
Excellent. Well, this is Andy from Belle Morte, and we're going to play his song, well, for his band. This is Can't Let This Die. Andy, it's been a pleasure talking to you, sir.
Cool, man. Catch you soon.
I do want to ask one favor.
Yes.
Okay, could you say you're listening to the Hellcast on TMIRadio.com?
Yeah. You're
Anytime
listening
you're
to
ready.
Hellcast on what now?
I was going to say, anytime you're ready.
Oh, so it's, you're listening to Hellcast on TMI Radio, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're listening to Hellcast on TMI Radio.
Excellent. Thank you very much, sir, and I look forward to talking to you soon.
Sounds good, man. Take care.
All right, later.